Hello everyone. Today's class we are going to see about the common congenital anomalies. In the last video I have discussed about the introduction and risk factor, causes and diagnostic evaluation. So now here I am going to list out some common congenital abnormalities that we can see in the infant or in the newborn. First we are going to see that abnormalities we can notice in the central nervous system. So in the first picture you can see that is the condition which is called as anencephaly, which means the baby will be born without some parts of the brain or skull, that is called as anencephaly. Second picture you can see meningoencephalocele, which means there will be a fluid collection in the brain or in the skull. So that is difference between the anencephaly and meningoencephaly. Next, some more congenital abnormalities that we can notice in the central nervous system, like normal. You can see in the picture, this is the normal spine. So if the spine is not fully formed, then we'll call it is spina bifida, which I am showing in the second picture, when the spinal cord is not fully formed during the pregnancy. In the third picture, we can notice here is a one bulging, there is a fluid collection in the spinal cord, that is called as meningocele. And in the fourth one, it is called as meningomyelocele, which means there is an opening in the spinal cord. So this is the four types of spinal cord that you can see. First one, that is normal spinal cord. The second one, spina bifida occulta, which means spinal cord is not formed fully during the pregnancy. Third one is meningocele, which means fluid collection in the spinal cord. Fourth one is meningomyelocele, which means there is an opening in the spinal cord. So the first picture you can see meningocele, like you can see the picture, that is fluid collection in the spinal cord. And this is meningomyelocele, which you can see there is an opening in the spinal cord. So this is the defect in the spinal cord of nervous system. Next we have hydrocephalus. Hydrocephalus means there is a fluid collection in the brain, okay, in this head. So that is this is a picture you can see, there is a big head because of hydro means water, so there is a water collection in the head. And next one is microcephaly. Micro means there is a big headed baby. Next, macrocephaly. Macrocephaly means small headed baby. Okay. Next one is syringomyelia. Syringomyelia means when there is a cyst formation in the spinal cord, it's called as syringomyelia. So these are the some other central nervous system congenital abnormalities. Next we are going to see some congenital defects that is in the heart or cardiovascular system. The first one is ventricular septal defect or VSD, which means there is a hole in the ventricles of the heart. The second one is atrial septal defect or ASD, which means there is a hole in the atrium of the heart. The next one is patent ductus arteriosus, which means there is a open in the aorta or hole in the aorta. Next one is co-erectation of aorta. It means there is an abnormal connection between the aorta. The next one is transposition of great vessels. It means there is an abnormality in the position of great vessels. The next one is tricuspid atresia, which means there is no bulb between the two chamber of heart. Then we will call it is tricuspid atresia. The next one is aortic stenosis, which means there is a narrowing in the aortic bulb. Stenosis means narrowing. The next one is pulmonic stenosis. Same thing, there is a narrowing in the pulmonary bulb. The next one is palate of tetralogy. Palate of tetralogy also, it consists of 4 disease conditions together, like if the baby have ventricular septal defect and thickened wall around the right ventricles and aorta located above the hole and there is a stiff pulmonary bulb. If the baby have these 4 conditions together, then we'll call the baby is having the congenital anomalies, that is palates of tetralogy. The next one is mitral aortic regurgitation, which means there is an insufficiency for the mitral bulb. And the last one is dextrocardia. Dextrocardia means normally we know that the heart is in the left side, but in this condition it will move towards the right side more compared to left side. So this is also one congenital abnormalities. So this is the most common congenital abnormalities that we can see in the cardiovascular system. Next we will see about GI system abnormalities. In that, first one is tracheoesophageal fistula, which means there is a abnormal connection between the trachea and the esophagus. In this picture you can see different type of abnormal connection between the trachea and esophageal, that is called as tracheoesophageal fistula. The second one is esophageal atresia, which means there is a underdevelopment or the growth of esophagus is not fully developed for the newborn. So this is the two GI system abnormalities. Next is pyloric stenosis. So you can see in the picture, this is the pilus part of stomach which is not fully developed or fully open. Stenosis, narrowing. So it is difficult for the food to pass from this area. So that is also one congenital abnormalities. And next one is duodenal atresia. So you can see in this picture, in the duodenum there is a narrowing or fully complete stoppage of the part. So we'll call it as duodenal atresia. So normally the food particles, it can't go from this area. So this is also one congenital abnormalities. The next one is diaphragmatic hernia. So it is a condition when intestine protruding through hole in the diaphragm. You can see in the picture. So the intestine will come out through a hole in the diaphragm. That is called as diaphragmatic hernia. And this is another one which is umbilical hernia. The part of intestine, it will come out, protrudes through the umbilicus. So we'll call it is a umbilical hernia. The next one is femoral hernia. When the protrusion of intestine occurs for the female in the part of pelvis, that is called as femoral hernia. Next one is intestinal obstruction. Obstruction means blockage. So in the point of obstruction, you can see in this, there is a blockage in the intestine. So it is called as intestinal obstruction. Now we'll discuss about the respiratory system abnormalities. So in that first one, we're going to talk about choanal atresia. So this is a condition or this is an abnormality where the back of the nasal passage is blocked. So if you see both this picture, you can see one is open, one is blocked. So it means the back part of the nasal passage is blocked. The next one is pulmonary agencies. So pulmonary agencies means there is a complete absence of one or both the lungs, sometimes with the bronchi, bronchioles and the alveoli. That is called as pulmonary agency. Next we are going to see about the genitourinary system abnormalities. In that first one is renal agency. It means the complete or one or both absence of kidney. Second one is hydronephrosis. It means water collection or water in the or fluid in the nephron. The next one is polycystic kidney. You can see when there is so many more cyst in the kidney. This is one is horse shaped kidney. Normally kidney is bean shaped, but in this case it is like horse shaped. So this is also one congenital abnormalities. Next one is hypospadiasis. Hypospadiasis means there is an opening in the urethra under the side of penis. Okay, there is a urethral opening under the side of penis, that is called as hypospadiasis. And phimosis. So phimosis means narrowing of the foreskin, so it can't be retract towards the back side. So that is called as phimosis. Next is undescended testes. Normally what happens, the testes, it will be fall down in the scrotum just before the delivery, but in some cases it will not descended in the scrotum and it will be still in the abdominal wall. That is also called as undescended testis. It is also a congenital abnormalities. Next one is hydrocilia. Hydrocilia means it is a serious fluid collection in the body sac. So this is also one congenital abnormalities for the male baby. Next we are going to discuss about the musculoskeletal system abnormalities. In that first one is club foot. Club foot means foot is twisted out of the shape. So like normally how it would be for everyone, it is twisted, it may be inside or maybe outwards. So that is called as club foot. You can see in the picture. So like it is twisted towards the inside. So there are different types of club foots. You can go through these pictures. Next one is congenital dislocation of hip. So this is like this is the hip bone or pelvis bone. This is the femur. So actually it should located in that acetabulum. But sometimes what happen, this one it will not fix to the acetabulum and it will be the outside. So in that case we will call it as a congenital dislocation of hip. Next one is dislocated hip baby. You can see the picture how it will look when the baby is dislocated. Their hip is not located in the exact place. Next is polydactyl. Polydactyl means they have extra finger. So normally we will have 5 fingers. You can see here they have extra fingers. Here also you can see they have some extra fingers. That is called as polydactyl. Next one is waved finger. Waved finger means when 2 or more fingers are joined together. See the picture. This is called as waved picture. Next we have 2 more other congenital abnormalities. One is amelia, one is pocomelia. Amelia means lacking of one or more limbs, and pocomelia means when there is a hand or feet are attached close to the trunk. That is called as pocomelia. And the first one, amelia, means lacking of one or more limbs. One more abnormality is Halder syndrome. What happens? Normally, see our nasal bridge is started from the ear and it's too near to the inner canthus of eyes. You can see the direct connection. But here it is little bit down. It is not straight to the inner canthus of eyes. In that case, we will call it is a Halder syndrome. Next one is Marfan syndrome. It may be for the hand or it may be for the feet. So this is normal hands. But in case of Marfan, that will be elongated fingers and arm bones. Okay. So but normally see, you can see the normal hands. But what happened here? Fingers also it is little bit long and the arm bone also. That is called as Marfan syndrome. It may be for the hand and it may be for the feet. And here are some blood disorders that is called as congenital blood disorders that we have discussed already in the hemolytic disease. Next we will see some endocrine abnormalities. In that first one is congenital hypopituitarism or that is dwarfism. So in that what happened, the short statue, you can see the picture of the image of the baby will be short. Okay, it is because of pituitary hormone which will be less, okay, from the pituitary gland. So that is we'll call it is a dwarfism. And congenital goiter. Goiter means there is an enlarged thyroid gland and it will be by birth itself. So we'll call it is congenital goiter. You can see this picture. Next is chromosomal abnormalities. The first one is Down syndrome, which is in that absence of trisomy 21. So what are the symptoms? How we can find out the baby is having Down syndrome? In that the first like single palmar crease, short fifth finger and curved inward. And you can see widely separated first and second toes and increased skin seizures. Next you can see flattened nose and face, upward and slanting eyes. So these are the symptoms. You can come to know that baby is having Down syndrome, which is one of the chromosomal abnormalities. We have so many congenital abnormalities. Among those, only few I have discussed here. Here are some other congenital abnormalities that you can see. Like one is microgonata, which means lower jaw is undersized. The jaw of the baby, it is undersized. And one more is cleft lip. Cleft means there is a split in the lip. You can see in the picture. Next we have cleft palate. So there is a split in the palate bone, and you can see this also, cleft palate. Now I am going to tell you some preventive factors that we can do so they can prevent the congenital abnormalities in the baby. Like first one is genetic counseling. It is very important one. It is a problem solving approach or communication process in relation to genetic disorder or congenital anomalies in the family. So through this they can find out before only if there is any abnormalities in their family, if anyone is having any congenital defect. So because there is a chance of inheritance, like next generation also there is a chance they can get that abnormalities. There are two types, like one is prospective genetic counseling, one is retrospective genetic counseling. The first one is prospective genetic counseling. It is for true prevention of disease. It aims at preventing or reducing the heterozygous marriage by screening the procedure and explaining the risk of the affected children. The next one is retrospective genetic counseling. It is done after a hereditary disorder has already occurred, like through the sterilization process or medical termination of pregnancy or contraception method, like they have to terminate the baby. So these are the two genetic counseling. There are some more preventive methods like discourage consanguineal marriage, avoid the late marriage and pregnancy above 35 years of age, promotion of health of girl child and pre-pregnant health status of the female bride, prevention of malnutrition, anemia, folic acid deficiency, iodine deficiency, encourage the immunization of all female child by MMR. Next, protection of individuals and whole communities against the mutagens, that is X-ray, drug and alcohol. Next, immunization by anti-D immunoglobulin to the Rh negative mother after the abortion. Next one is elimination of active and passive smoking of tobacco by mothers. So these are the preventive measures that can be taken by the pregnant woman to prevent the congenital abnormalities in the baby. With this we have finished few congenital abnormalities that we can see in the babies based on the system wise. Thank you everyone.